Hello, welcome back to Premier League Dad. How are we all doing? My name is Key. We are live for Chelsea against Fulham. Premier League football, early start on Saturday. We've got three big games today. Three big games. We've got Chelsea-Fulham to start us off. 3 o'clock, I'm going to be watching Everton against Wolves. And then at 5:30, we're doing Leeds against Newcastle at Ellen Road. So we've got three big games coming up today. Really looking forward to it. Hopefully you'll be with me for some of them, if not all of them. If you're sticking around watching all the footy today, I'll be here all day. So pop in and out as you wish to. Jonah, how's it going, Jonah? Liam, good to see you too. I'm going to come back to you in a second. 1 sec. Let me just do my thing here. Come on. It's making me sign in. Am I signed in? I think I'm signed in, aren't I? I think I'm signed in. Ostermorg, is the sub count in the corner new, or am I going mad? No, it is. It is new. Yes, it is new. I have added the sub count. I'm trying to get the sub count up. We're trying to hit 6K if we can on YouTube. So I'm trying to push it up. I'm trying to get the old sub count going. Colin the Red, Cyborg, Peter Kay with a Manchester accent. Listen him. Listen him. Joe, Voltamadas from Newcastle. Tra la 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 la. Bruno's flying. Isaac's crying. Do you know what? I heard one last night. Oh, excuse me. I've got a hair in my mouth. I heard one last night, and it was when the ball hits the net. So it was something like that. It was that Tamore, but it was Voltamada, and I thought that was quite good. Shelley, afternoon, Key. How's it going? Let's see how long it is until that sub count moves up one. I'm excited. I've not seen it actually move up one. Live anyway, so yeah, we'll keep a count on it. We'll keep a check on it through the live. It's on 5732 right now on YouTube, so I'll be a little bit giddy. I'll be a little bit giddy when it moves up. It might even move down. Who knows? It might move either way, but I'll be a little bit excited when it moves up one. LFC, what are we saying for Burnley, lad? I'm going Old Trafford as a claret. Nice. I've backed Burnley or draw in that one. Burnley or draw, 5-1. Jonah, what's the channel? I'll go sub. It's the same as this one, mate. Premier League Dad. If you go and search Premier League Dad or Key Thomas, that's my name, Key Thomas. Go and search that up. Premier League Dad. If you search Premier League Dad in YouTube, it should come up. Oh, we've lost one. We've lost one. I've gone down. It's 5731. Someone's winding me up here, aren't they? Yeah, it's YouTube. If you go and search Premier League Dad, I'm on there. Eddie, Chelsea, Everton, Newcastle 2. Everton ain't winning at Wolves. Everton are not winning at Wolves, I am telling you. There's not a chance them Blue Noses are winning at Wolves. I thought Wolves were really good in midweek, albeit it was against West Ham, and even more so, it's the fact that they don't have Jørgen Strand Larsen there now either. Let me just move that a little bit to the right. And that didn't make a blind bit of difference, did it? Joe, can't wait for his debut. Hopefully the new Mackham Slayer. United Forever, how's it going? Alex, how's it going? Good to see you. User 786, hi Key. We got a Millwall fan in. How do you fancy Millwall are going to do today? You got a decent... yeah, you got a decent game this afternoon, haven't you, Millwall? Who are you playing? Millwall against... It's a tough game, I'm sure it is, isn't it? Who are Millwall playing? Where's Strand Larsen? Strand Larsen has been left out of the side due to injury. Apparently it's due to injury. Jonah, thanks for the sub, mate. I really appreciate the sub. I can see it's bounced up and down a little bit on YouTube for some reason. It's gone from 5. It started on 5732. It went down to 5731, then up to 5733, and now it's back to 5732 again. So people seem to be loving me and hating me at different measures of this live, but it's all good. I'm giddy that we've actually got it there. Alex, love to shut up Arsenal tomorrow. Do you think we will, though? That's the question. Do you actually think we will? Listen, I'm excited for Arsenal tomorrow, but I don't know. Wonder why it's doing that. It's you beggars, innit? It's you sods winding me up. Ron Boggings, nobody wants to sign for Newcastle apparently, but currently 2 players striking for a move there. Who's striking for a move to Newcastle? Wisser and Strand Larsen. It's not that nobody wants to move to Newcastle. It's that there is a pecking order, mate. Nobody's saying nobody wants to move. It's that the big players, the top players across Europe, don't want to move. You can go and pick up Wissers and Strand Larsens all day. There's no problem with them two. It's the players that the top teams are competing for. They're the ones that have rejected Newcastle. Thank you for the follow. Cheers for that, Eleanor. Joe Voltamada looks as happy as anything in his interview. What a lad. Have you seen the interview with the biker? The Newcastle biker? It's cringe. It's super cringe. And I'm normally one for, bygones be bygones, but bloody hell, that is cringe. Empty, as Belgian player, I want to see Lavia because he's such a talented midfielder, but at this point, talent means nothing if he's never fit. Just hope his career does not end like Charlie Masonda. Well, Lavia, isn't even on the bench today. We'll go through the lineups in just a second. Dan, score prediction for Everton game today. I think the Everton game is going to be... I'm watching it. I'm doing Everton live on this channel, right? So if you want to watch along with me, I can't broadcast it, but if you want to watch along with me, I am going to be watching Everton Wolves. That's the 3 o'clock game that I'm covering. So yeah, give us a like, give us a follow if you fancy watching along with Everton and Wolves. I think that one is going to be not a drab 0-0, but I think it's the game where the first goal matters. If Wolves get it, I think they win. If Everton get it, they win. But there's every chance it ends 0-0. Both teams absolutely shocking going forward offensively, and absolutely, okay, sound defensively. So I think defensively they should be fine, both teams. But I've got a real worry that either team can actually score goals. Shelley, you lovely man. Mate, it's not cringe. That lad does work for the food bank, so he deserves some recognition from Newcastle. It's nothing to do with the person per se. The guy, the biker, seemed a lovely Newcastle fan. He seemed that's no problem. It was more the Voltamada staring at the camera and making out like it was this big... I've come to Newcastle because you're the best fans in the country, and I've come to Newcastle because... Like, mate, just be honest. Just be honest about it. Just be honest. Oliver Sims, Wilson Isidore brought his newborn daughter into the world yesterday. That's nice. Liam Manning, Gomez back up if Milan don't get a kanji. Ron Boggins, who's rejected Newcastle exactly? By the exact same logic, Voltamada rejected Bayern for Newcastle. Well, it's not. It's not the same logic because Newcastle had an offer accepted for Ekatike. He rejected Newcastle. Newcastle seemingly had bids put in for Sesko. They had bids we know put in for João Pedro. So the player always wanted another place. They always wanted other places. So that's the problem. That's been the issue for Newcastle. They have been rejected. Like, you can't dress it up, mate. Voltamada and Bayern, there was never even an agreement between Bayern and Stuttgart. Empty, Voltamada looks like someone that perfectly fits in at Newcastle. What makes you say that? I'm not disagreeing, by the way, but what makes you say that? Why do you think that Voltamada does fit in perfectly at Newcastle? I'm intrigued by that suggestion. Ron and Bayern bid for Voltamada, so the same logic. It's not, though. It's not, because Newcastle had offers accepted for Ekatike, for example. It's not the same. It's not the same. Cameron, do you have any Blackburn tops, mate? I don't have any Blackburn tops, no. That's one of the championship sides that I don't have a Blackburn. I don't really do too many English football tops. I have got some, but not many. Yeah. And Blackburn, I grew up with Blackburn being something of a rival to Liverpool, obviously in the title and stuff like that. So I would never have got a Blackburn shirt generally. If I did, it was going to be a more recent one, the Christopher Samba Blackburn era. Aaron, I'll get you a United top. You're all right, Aaron. That's very sweet of you, mate, but I'm not a United fan. I would never, ever wear a United top, nor an Everton one. Abdu Swan says Chelsea. Chelsea 2-1 Fulham, says Callum the Red. Empty. He looks like he's a physical man that could throw down some beers like your average Geordie. Sorry, I've just realised the chat isn't turned on. Reece, Voltemada won't score more than 15 goals this season. I mean, there's Newcastle fans already putting that they are betting that Voltemada will outscore Isak this season, which is some old bet considering he only got 12 last year in the Bundesliga. So, Liam Vernon says Chelsea 3, Fulham 1. Callum, leggy, soft lad. Joe plus Voltemada is more of a creative striker, not a prolific one. That's why we're getting Larson. Yeah, I know what you mean, Joe. He's such a creative striker. Those 2 assists he got last season in the Bundesliga show just what a creative specimen Voltemada is. 2 assists. Some achievement, some feat for a creative centre-forward. He's basically Bobby Firmino, isn't he? Ostermorg, are you going to get a Grimsby one? Yes. Up the Mariners. Joe, he got 18 goals and 2 assists, actually. He got 12 in the Bundesliga. 2 assists. Ron, you're getting it, you. What do you mean I'm getting it? Is that a promise, Ron? Woohoo! Alex, Ekatiki will play on the left, Isak up front. I agree. Joe, have you seen his dribbling, pal? I have seen his dribbling, yeah. I'm not saying he's a bad player, mate. I'm just saying the idea that you have anything other than overpaid is... It's laughable, really. 70 million quid for a guy who got 12 goals and 2 assists it's a lot. It's a lot. Now, that might prove to be a bargain. It might do. But Nunes, Højlund and Kunku... there's been lots of centre-forwards who've come over for that kind of price with good backgrounds, who have, good scoring track records, and they haven't flourished. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So I don't necessarily think Voltemada's 12 goals and 2 assists is a good predictor for success in the Premier League. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't, who knows. MT, if Isak is not sold by tomorrow, he won't score more. Listen, Isak will be announced. I am telling you, I've got a sense, I've got a feeling, right? Isak is going to be announced after the Leeds v Newcastle game, but before the Liverpool-Arsenal game. So it'll be announced either later tonight, like 8, 9 o'clock at night, or like 10, 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Calling it. I'm not in the know. I don't have any information to suggest that. I'm just basing it purely off gut feel, instinct, reading what's happened, learning, listening. That's what I think's going to happen. Joey says deadline day. I reckon I'm going to be doing a full deadline day stream, right? So the deadline, the window shuts at 7 on Monday, right? 7 p.m, sorry, not 7 a.m. 7 p.m. on Monday night, I am going to be live from about 12 through to 7 p.m. So I'm going to be doing a good 6-7 hour live watch along where we're just talking rubbish about transfers and watching transfer deadline day and seeing which teams have signed who, and I'll be giving updates and all that sort of thing. So if you want to follow along on transfer deadline day, dip in and out, it's all good, do you think? Joe, auf Wiedersehen, rats. Ron Bogging, stick to the walking football, you big boy. Oh, no. Oh, he's getting aggy. Taylor, Chelsea are going to batter Fulham. Why do people think Chelsea are going to win this one so comprehensively? Fulham beat them here 8 months ago. They beat them at Stamford Bridge 8 months ago. It was basically the same Chelsea side. The exact same Chelsea side, and they've in fact it was better 8 months ago. They had Colwell at the back. They haven't got him today. But here we go. Let's talk through the lineups because we are 9 minutes away from kickoff. So the lineups are as follows: Chelsea and Fulham. Chelsea, it is Robert Sanchez in goal, Malo Gusto, Chalobah, Adrabayo and Cucurella at the back. Midfield of Caicedo, Fernandes and João Pedro in that sort of number 10. Esteval right, Neto left and Liam Delap at centre forward. Liam Delap wasn't too happy in that West Ham game, was he? Getting dragged off. G. Lawrence, surprised you're not saying he's at Spurs. Key, Isaac, Volta, Messi for a reason. Shelley 2-2, I think. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think it might be a draw today. I do. Reece, Chris Wood got more goals than Voltamada last season. I mean, there's loads of players who got more goals than Voltamada last season. He was... Listen, put it this way. Voltamada, and this is another thing Newcastle fans keep pointing out, right? They all keep saying, yeah, but he didn't play that many games. Voltamada was actually... He only played like 28, 29 games for the 12 goals, so it's actually quite a good goals per 90, right? So if you actually work it out on his goals per minute, he was still 10th in the Bundesliga. So not like great, he was 10th. He was ranked 10th out of all the centre-forward, well, all the players in the Bundesliga. And do you know who 11th was? 11th was Lucas Nemesha, who's just signed for Leeds. So if we're talking goals per 90, he's actually not all that much better. So Voltamada will humble you this season, says Joe. Not happy with some of your comments. Give the lad a chance. What do you mean? Hang on a minute. Why are you saying it like I'm saying he's terrible? I'm not saying he's dreadful. I'm saying you've overpaid. That is it. That is literally all it matters. I'm not saying he's a terrible player. He's actually a good player. I really like him. We watched a lot of him on this channel. He's a good player. But 70 million quid. It's a lot. Really is a lot. Callum Key, how come you're not doing Man United v Burnley? You're from Manchester. Not from Manchester. And I wouldn't be doing United v Burnley because... Well, two reasons, actually. One, if I was to do it, then chances are we'd have about 4 people in the stream. Because all the big United... Everyone goes and watches the United stand, don't they? Everyone watches the United stand and all them, Stretford Paddock and everyone. So... Nobody wants, chubby Aben Holmes, as Ron Boggins is calling me there. Nobody wants chubby Aben Holmes or Peter Kay, as Callum's talking about. Nobody wants that watching Man United. So listen, not many people want to watch Everton v Wolves, but there's marginally more interested in Everton Wolves than there are Manchester United Burnley. So I'm gonna stick with Everton Wolves. That was the game that I picked. So yeah. Joe, Voltamada will humble... Oh, we've done that one, haven't we? Joey, Ron, get yourself a couple, lad. Head's gone. Oh, hey. Do you know what's funny as well? I'd donate happily. I'd happily donate 100 quid. Even more, actually, if we got Ron on. I'd love Ron for come on. Ron, get on. Get requesting in the chat. You can come on, you're funny. I like him. He's a good lad. Just Juan, which team do you support? I'm a Liverpool fan. Juan. I'm a Liverpool fan, Juan. Who do you support, more importantly? Ostermore, Mikatadze would have been more cost-effective, I reckon. Yes, great shout. Mikatadze would have definitely been a better signing for Newcastle, in my opinion. G. Lawrence, he's a Spurs fan, Juan. Joe, Stuttgart have the right to ask for a good price. He's highly thought of. 70 million though. They got him for free last year. Free. Literally free from Werder Bremen. They picked him up for free and they've somehow got 70 million quid for him after 12 goals. He's not even their best centre-forward. Stuttgart finished 9th and he isn't even their best centre-forward. There was a player on the bench for Birmingham last night. A player on the bench who got more goal contributions than Voltemade last year. So, he's not, he's a good player, but he's not remarkable, and 70 million is a lot. It really is. Dr. Jimmy, Stamford Britain. Creme de la FM, you remind me of Jamie Carragher, always overly critical on Chelsea. And you remind me of John Terry, always overly complimentary of Chelsea. Reece Crousaw, Gyökeres, better than Voltemade. Convince me I'm wrong. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Ron Boggins, it's true. You won't be taken seriously on sporting opinions when you're built like a space opera. Ron, please, mate, request. Come on. Get on. Honestly, I'll switch the game off. I'll just have a chat with you. You're funny. Get him on. Get him requested. Get in the chat, Ron. Key, I'll see you later, pal. So on the Mersey. Are you coming back in for Newcastle later, Joe? Get yourself back in for Newcastle. AFC Harv, everything is banana. I have an ear infection, but still watching the footy. Oh, bloody hell. Hope you feel better later, mate. I really do. G. Lawrence, on a serious note, where are the Liverpool fans who said last year Konate is better than Saliba? I'm right here, and I'm still saying it. I'm right here. Callum the Red, do Stuttgart want Endo back? They're not getting him back. Stuttgart's not getting Endo back. He's the best number 6 in the Premier League. I'm requesting, you're not accepting. You aren't though. You haven't even requested. You haven't even requested. Why are you lying? Why are you lying, soft lad? You haven't even requested. G Lawrence, but you want to replace Konate with Gay though? No, you don't replace Konate with Gay. Gay just plays. Gay's going to be in the team, in the squad. He's probably for next year, if anything, because Konate, if he doesn't sign a contract, he probably goes. But yeah, Konate's still the second best defender in football. Easily, for me. It's not even... Well, I say easily. Let me wind that back. He's not easily the second best defender, but he is the second best defender. I wouldn't swap him for another centre-back in football. And I don't think any other reasonable, polite LFC fan would, to be honest. Ron, what are you lying for, Chief? What are you lying for? You're not even requesting. Get seriously, do. Request it, Chief. Request it. I really want you to come on. It'd be funny. Callum the Red, space opera, more like that dad in Peppa Pig. Daddy Pig. Hello, Daddy Pig. Don't I have watched that every day. Ollie Marley, will you be watching Newcastle v Barca since Liverpool aren't playing the same night? Depends. Depends if there's any better games. There might be other better games on. I don't know. We'll see. Liam Manning, someone hates your opinions and gets personal. Do you know what the funny thing is though, Liam? I don't mind, it's all good. He's probably right. Like, for most of it, I'm sound, it's fine. But get on, have the balls to get on, Ron. Come on, get yourself on. Request, get yourself on. Absolutely get on. Honestly, he'll be hilarious. Joe, I think we get top 6 with Voltemade, Larson and Fratesi. I think that might be ambitious. Right, we're about to get underway here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, Fulham. Here we go. Joe, we've done that one. Camelot, what about Hibs getting knocked out of the Conference League? Thought they played well. They did. They played very well. It was a shame, actually, because they took them to extra time, didn't they, in the end? I thought Aberdeen would give a better fist to that one in Steaua Bucharest as well. They kind of got played off the park. Shelley, I've just watched the Man U fans game meltdown from the other night. Right, here we go. Chelsea, what can they do today? Are they going to manage to get themselves back into the reckoning for the title race, maybe? We didn't cover Fulham's lineup, did we? I got distracted. I got distracted by Ron being so kind. So Fulham's lineup is Leno in goal, Sessegnon, Bassi, Anderson and Tete at the back. Midfield of Berger and Lukic, and then Iwobi, King, Castagna. Well, Castagna's not going to play right wing, is he? I imagine Castagna tucks back, and then it's Rodrigo Muniz up front, obviously. Reese, I have no clue who plays like Eric Dyer. I have no clue how plays like Eric Dyer and Jackson can get moves to Bayern. Well, if you're listening to Bayern Space, that account on Twitter, Bayern Space has been saying that Bayern have just been falling to bits recently. They are literally falling to bits. So it's probably not that much of a surprise that they're not able to get, good signings over the line, and they're struggling. Jonah, you clear mark. I clear mark. Simon, I think Liverpool are ready to bid for Isak again. I think so too, mate. I think you're right. Tobias, Rodrigo Muniz is in my FPL. Hope he gets a goal or something. Ryan, Big Ron ducked the key test. I can't believe he gave it the big licks all game. All in the build-up, and then didn't actually want to come on. Kept saying request, get yourself on. They all talk a big game, and then they don't want to actually come on and show the face. They're all little rats, aren't they? All little cowards. Little cowards in the end. Mason Longley, are you doing any of the 3 PM games? I am, mate. Yes, I'm doing Everton and Wolves. Or Wolves v Everton, actually. It's at Molineux. But, yeah. Ostermorg, they couldn't afford to get Wirtz or Voltemado. Wonder what's up with their financials. Well, apparently Kane is looking to leave as well. MT, most non-Prem teams can't compete with the fees that Prem clubs can offer, so they need to make up the depth with lesser players like a Dyer. That's true, yeah. But do you know what? To some extent, isn't that because the Premier League grew over the years as a result of the Premier League's decision to sort of dispense TV money equally, is my understanding anyway, or at least more equally, not equally, but more equally between the clubs. So if you're in the Premier League in England, you got lots of TV money, whereas if you were in Spain, for example, you tended to only get TV money if you were playing against Real Madrid or Bayern or Barca. And because of that, for a long time anyway, La Liga ended up being just, 2 or 3 teams that could actually compete at the top end, and then the rest were in and out of they were all pretty dreadful. Whereas now we've got a Premier League that's had 20, 30 years of, teams getting lots of TV money, and they can now outspend. You've got Brentford's outspending Bayern's. It's mad, innit? Tobias, if Isak goes to Liverpool, it'll be a deadline one, in my opinion. Isaac, do you reckon Howe could improve Voltemada heavily, or what do you think? I'm sure he will improve because he's a young player, and you could put young players in to any system. If they're going to be good, they'll be good anywhere, is my argument. Like, the argument that Newcastle drastically improved Alexander Isak is, I think it's overdone a little bit. Like, Isak would have become the player that he is now, I think, if he'd have gone to anywhere else. And that's just how it is. I think he's a wonderful player, and Newcastle have benefited from that. He's benefited from Newcastle. They've benefited from him. But he was a wonderful player at Sociedad. Like, let's not make out they picked some kid up off the bench at Gateshead. He was a wonderful player at Sociedad, and all of Europe knew it. So, yeah, Newcastle aren't going to be able to improve Voltemada massively more than any other club would. A player generally reaches the heights they're going to reach, irrespective of the efforts of the coaching and management staff. Like, that's still a part, but I would say it's maybe 20% of how good they're going to become. If a player's going to be average, he's going to be average. Coaching might make him a 7.5 out of 10, but it ain't going to drastically improve it. It's not going to make him an 8 or a 9. Mason, if you were Spurs, would you go for Rodgers or Lookman? Well, Rodgers is the better player, but you're not going to get Rodgers. Lookman's available, isn't he? Jonah, he will be better with better players alongside him. That's true enough. Yeah, absolutely. And again, that of course he will. He'll be able to showcase his talents better. But I'm not sure if that necessarily drastically improves him. Swifty, the cost of strikers is insane. That is the going rate now. Yeah, 70 million it is, isn't it? Here's Fulham. Big chance for Fulham. Just wide. It started already. I told you, these are going to create chances, Fulham. Ryan would have been playing in a championship now if he moved to United. Jonah Weir, he will be better with players. Yeah, that's true. Jake, evening all. Good to see you, Jake. Jake, thoughts on Voltemada Key? We've just been talking about him, Jake. I think he's a really good player. Yeah, he's a good player. I think you've overpaid, but I think he's a good player. MT says the media helps English football. The media coverage around the league is in English. And I mean social media, and the gap is just growing because money is more. That's true. Yeah. Like I said, it's mad that you've got bottom half Premier League clubs spending more than, you know, Luton Towns, spending more than Bayern Munich's and stuff. Garnacho's dyed his hair. How mad is that, by the way? Alejandro Garnacho to Chelsea for 40 million quid in the exact same window that Tyler Diblin has gone from Southampton to Everton for 42. How is that Man United have to be the worst sellers in all of football. Ryan, is Voltemada more of a second striker AM or actually an out-and-out 9? Well, he's not... I would say, I mean, he's played in a 2. He has played in a number 2 quite a lot in a 2-striker system for a lot of last season with Stuttgart. It was him and Demirovic up front. So he has been the player that's maybe dropped a bit deeper. So he could play alongside another striker for Newcastle. Yeah, he could play alongside, but I think he is a centre-forward predominantly. Jonah, what colour? It's like a bleach blonde. It's a little bit like Brian Harvey in East 17 in the 90s. Swifty, it's because United are desperate to replace. Is it because they're desperate to replace or that they're desperate to get the money in? Because I would argue it's maybe the latter. United seem to want to get some cash in so that they can actually go out and spend and get a bit more in before the close of the window. And it just seems they needed a bit more. Jake, crazy market Key, quoted 60 million plus for Larson though, so paying a little bit extra makes sense to me. I think you'll still get Larson. You've left the number 9 shirt open, haven't you? Voltemada's got the 27, which means the number 9 is left open, and that seems to indicate you're going to go out and get maybe one of, you know, Wister or Larson, and I would imagine it's Larson. Strand Larson would be the better option, surely. Reece, glad Garnacho is enjoying the game on his phone and not the actual football happening. He's on Angry Birds, isn't he? He's chilling on Angry Birds. Looks like Carl the Dragon. Swifty, that's what I meant. Yeah, it's the PSR boost. Ah, right. Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. Ostermorg, how do you rank the top 5 leagues in watchability? For me, it's the Prem, then Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga, Liga. I think the Bundesliga is better than Serie A. In fact, I would probably be putting Serie A further down that list. I would be tempted to go Premier League. I would go Premier League, Bundesliga, Liga. No, Premier League, Bundesliga, Premier League, Bundesliga, La Liga, Liga and Serie A. I'd put Serie A bottom in that because Liga is really, really good. 3-star Reds, afternoon Key. Forest win the race for our long-term target for Cubiano from a certain club in Brazil. €30 million bid. Plus 30 million in bonuses gone in for PSG winger Lee Kangin. Bid turned down for Lee Kangin though, but Forest expected to go back in with improved bid. Lee Kangin, I remember him being like a proper wonder kid at Valencia, I think it was, and it never quite worked out for him at Paris Saint-Germain. Jake, I think Larson and Voltemada are too similar. I'd prefer Wisser. Take either, to be fair. Do you know what? I think Voltemada and Larson would be a perfect... Look, they're both going to take some time, I think, or rather, Voltemada's going to take some time. This is kind of what I was making out to Newcastle fans last night when they were talking about it, and I was saying that just a few points about our friend Voltemada. Oh no, Liam Delap's gone down. He's done it. He's off. He's going to have to go off. He's injured. He's gone down. He's feeling his calf. So he's going to have to go off. And I imagine that means João Pedro goes further forward. But Liam Delap not having a great start to his Chelsea career here. Well, there's quite a few had Delap in the FPL. Do you know when he just feels it there? You can see it, can't you? He's just felt it. That's it. William, have you seen that deal for Isaac? Isaac is getting closer. Yes. There you go. Breaking news. Liverpool have reportedly agreed a deal to sign Alexander Isak. Apparently that's just coming out right now. But I'm surprised if that is the case. I think that's probably still the French report that you saw. Honestly, it's not even surprising now. It's just everyone knows it's coming. It's not even going to be news when it happens. It's like, oh yeah, well we all knew. Of course we knew. Goal for QPR. Liam Manning. Imagine getting rid of Jackson. I think Nicholas Jackson would have been a better shout. I really do. And a Nicholas Jackson signing would have been absolutely perfect for Newcastle. If you'd have got him over the line plus Voltemada, I think you'd have been much better. Oh, Stoke 0, West Brom 1. That's bad. Do you know what? And I've got Stoke to get a win in that one. I should have backed bloody West Brom. I knew that was going to be a bad one. That was always going to be the game that screwed me. Bloody Stoke. Garbage at the minute, Stoke. Got battered against Bradford. And it's Nat Phillips. Big Nat Phillips up from the back. Ex-Liverpool. Scoring for West Brom at the Potters. Crew 0, Swindon 1. The Robins are winning there at Gresty Road. Keep updated on all the 3 o'clocks as well, because I'm going to be live for Everton and Wolves at 3. Cheers, Shelley. Thank you for that. 3-star Reds, Monday. I reckon we will see some surprises on deadline day. Yes, I know. I'm looking forward to it. William, what I did hear from another Liverpool fan is that apparently Isak's price is much less than expected. The thing is with that, I think Liverpool have got Newcastle almost over a barrel, because it's... what, like 110 million, or was it 100 million we bid, rising to 110? It certainly isn't going to be 150, because Liverpool know we're the only team at the table. They're not going to let him go. for 100 million, but Liverpool aren't going to go much higher. I don't think it gets to like 130, 140. I think it might maybe go to 120, but Liverpool know they've got Newcastle because they've already signed these replacements, so they can either have 120 for him or they can swivel. Jake says 110, rising to 117. Yeah, I was going to say, that makes sense. That really does make sense. I think if it's less than 130, we'll reject. Honestly, I don't. I think it probably is that deal that gets done. Newcastle, they can't keep him. They can't keep him, so you can either have 110 for something you're not going to use, or you can, swivel. Oh, that was the first bid. All right, okay. 110 rising to 117. I thought it was even less. So I don't know. But either way, whatever it ends up being, I don't think it's going to be less than... I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to the 150 that everyone's been saying. Evil Saka on for Delap. Well, it seems, Creme de la FM, that Fulham are at least giving Chelsea a game. I thought Chelsea were going to walk this one. I thought Chelsea were going to absolutely stroll it, but, it seems like Fulham are playing all right. I don't know. Ostamog, what do you think about Singo to Galatasaray? Yeah, again, not a bad signing. He was at Torino, wasn't he, Singo? Would have liked him in the Prem. He's got legs and he's got energy. He seems to be one of those fullbacks that would thrive in the Premier League. But I think, honestly, it reminds me a little bit of Diouf, who's just come in from Slavia Prague, come into West Ham, and he's been terrific. Malik Diouf. I can't imagine he's a West Ham player next year. Again, no offence to West Ham. Jake, got to be more than the first bid in my opinion. 130 to 135, I reckon. Liam Manning, this is a boring game at the moment, to be fair. 12:30 kickoffs are never, ever what you'd expect them to be. And they always usually come with a shock. And this is it. I was assured last night by a certain Chelsea fan on this channel. I'm not going to name him, but I was assured that Chelsea would walk this one. Yeah, almost that I was being really, really anti-Chelsea. Almost Jamie Carragher-like in my anti-Chelsea comments. That I had thought Fulham might be able to get a point here. Shot from Iwobi, just wide. And yeah, I don't understand why that was such a bad shout. Fulham got the win here last year. They've started quite well in the opening 20 minutes. Couple of shots that have gone just wide. Iwobi there. I mean, that was quite comfortably wide, but still. Chelsea doing a fair bit of defending in the opening 20 minutes. It's not exactly been all their own way. Reece, left back with the biggest ego, Kukurea. Cedric, hey, I am a West Ham fan from Germany. Nice. Rubes, that is not very kind. 3-star Reds, it's clear Isak does not want to stay at Newcastle. Surely the Newcastle board know this. No, they don't. They don't know it, 3-star Reds. He's not put a transfer request in yet. He's got to put a formal transfer request in before they understand that he actually wants to leave. Because they just can't accept the idea that he might want to leave until it's actually written down on paper. Creme de la FM, early days yet. Name me and shame me. Ostermore, Giovanni Reina left Dortmund as well. Where's he gone to? He was another one who was highly thought of many years ago. Empty. I just think this typical Fulham, keep it tight at the back. United, anyway. Calm, a little bit dull, a little bit boring. But, yeah, I think he would do well at United, Marco Silva. No frills. That's what United need right now. They need, like, Aldi's own Premier League manager. They're in Fulham. He's in one-on-one. Finish it, lad. Hit it. Hit it! Yes! 1-0 Fulham! Get in there! I told you! I told you! It's Josh King! Get in there! Fulham 1-0 up! Creme de la FM, what you saying, sunshine? Oh! There you go! 1-0 to the Cottagers. I told you this was going to be a big game. I told you they were going to do him. And it was a fabulous ball through. And the young man, Josh King, nobody saw that one coming. Get in. What a finish. Josh King putting Fulham 1-0 up. 20 minutes gone. Ostamore Key, this isn't helping the Closet Spurs fan allegations. Hey, it's Fulham. It's Fulham. I'm not Spurs. Who's this rat gone down on the floor? What's up with him? Chalobah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. That one's gonna... VAR, take it back. Never a foul. Behave yourself. Reece, Chelsea in the mud. 3-star Reds, in the words of our owner, the result is at the end of the day, Liverpool and Isaac will always win. MT, right back with the biggest ego is definitely Hakimi for saying he deserves Ballon d'Or. But in my eyes, still the best right back at the moment. That's some finish from King, isn't it? Creme de la FM, we need a goal against us to wake up. Taylor, what the F was that? B. McCarran, how's it going? Good to see you, man. You love to see it. Chelsea 0, Fulham 1. They battered Chelsea here last year and got the win. And it's the same again. Poor start from Enzo Maresca. It was the same last week against West Ham. VAR! Behave yourself! Shut up! Oh, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Oh my God. Is he actually going to rule this out? Oh, you are having a laugh. You are having a laugh. No, that is not a foul. That is not a foul. It's never a foul. Oh my God, this ref. Mate, come on. You can't give that. You can't give that. That's not a foul. He's in possession of the ball. It's not a foul. He's going to rule that out. It's VAR. He's going to rule it out. It's absolutely shocking, this. That is absolutely laughable. Fulham have been robbed. Chelsea did it last week against Palace. The first week against Eze's free kick. They got robbed, Palace. And now they're getting robbed again. Stamford Bridge. They are absolutely corrupt, these. Roman's got the refs on the payroll. It's absolutely shocking. That is shocking. If he gives this, if he rules this out, this referee, it's disgusting. He's going to, isn't he? He's going to. I've got to speak to the crowd. Yeah, as a result of a foul, here we go. Free kick to Chelsea. Laughable. Shut up. Shut up. That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. Daylight robbery. Daylight robbery. Minging. Ryan Flanagan, what happened, mate? Not watching it. Fulham scored a perfectly good goal, and the referees just ruled it out for VAR for no reason at all. Same as they did in the Eze goal, and Palace should have won at Stamford Bridge as well. So that's twice that now. No idea how that is ruled out. Honestly, finish the game. I'd be taking the players off the pitch here. Take the players off the pitch. That is disgusting. That is absolutely laughable. Isaac, do you think we have a chance of beating Barca first game of the Champions League? No. Yeah, that is absolutely vile. I can't believe that. Empty says VAR have earned some money off Chelsea. They've definitely got Stockley Park on the payroll, haven't they, Chelsea? Tell you. Todd Bowley's been taking Stockley Park referees down to Miami, I think. Shelley, corrupt as... Well, yeah, absolutely corrupt. Mad Pup, afternoon, sir. Good to see you, Pup. That is sickening. Hey, don't let it put you off, young man. Josh King, great goal that. Took it really, really well. That should have stood. Fulham should be 1-0 up here, make no mistake. Sickener. Liam Manning, poor Josh King, great finish that. It was, wasn't it? Lol Joey, game is absolutely gone. They'll have them wearing helmets next. It's ridiculous, says Swifty. That's it. Yeah. Honestly, every single fan in the chat, apart from the Chelsea fans who are saying it's absolutely certainly a foul. Oh, here we go. Here's Fulham again. They're in again. Oh, lucky. They're battering these Fulham. They're all over him. What are you talking about? Chelsea are gonna win. Chelsea are gonna win the league. All this nonsense. Talk rubbish. They'll do well to finish in the top 4. These, the crap. Spurs will finish above these. B. McCannon, these are the points if they got Fulham a draw where they would finish at the end of the season over a Krupp decision. Yeah, exactly. 3 points here. And again, it's the same with Chelsea, innit? Palace should have got 3 points in the first game. These should have got 3 points here. Chelsea should be 2 points less. That might be the difference between Champions League football and Europa League football at the end of the season. MT, I just always think it's stupid that the ref's going to check what VAR decides is stupid, because if VAR says it's a foul, the ref always decides the same. I've never seen him overrule there, mate, have you? You never see it happen. It never ever happens that his mate says, I think that's a foul. He goes, watches it, and then disagrees. They always stick together, these referees. Stronger together, I think, is their mantra. Ostermorg happened to Villa last year. Would have gotten Champions League football if it wasn't for VAR. That's true. Yeah, Newcastle would be in the Europa League. Alexander Isak would have been a Liverpool player by now. Probably would have been a Liverpool player in July. If not for that decision at Old Trafford on the final day of the season. Liam won't be surprised if Silva gets sent off or booked in this game. Harry Maguire, remember the goal getting ruled out in the EFL final in 23-24 too. What was the goal getting ruled out in the EFL final in the 23-24? What was that one? Lol Joey, more chance of me having a successful talking stage than Chelsea winning the league. Chelsea own refs. Well, there you go. It's true enough. B. McCarran, anyway, up the Villa, coming for that Europe. Hey, B. McCarran, there's rumours doing the rounds that you guys might be letting Morgan Rogers go. Any truth in that? And how would you feel if you lost Morgan Rogers before the end of the window? Isaac, do you think VAR makes more incorrect decisions than correct ones? No, I don't think they do. I just think they re-referee the game a lot. Like, I think there needs to be a higher threshold for what we would consider to be clear and obvious, right? I think it needs to be clear and obvious for a foul to be overruled. Now, or for it to be looked at. That isn't clear and obvious. That is ridiculous. Every single person in this chat, irrespective of who they support, even if you're a Chelsea fan, I mean, I reckon there's a bunch of Chelsea fans who would look at that and go, that's harsh. But there's nobody, absolutely nobody in the chat. We've got Forest fans, we've got Liverpool fans, we've got all types of fans. We've got fans of Southampton, we've got fans of all different types of clubs who are watching that independently, don't really have a horse in the race, and they have all said Fulham have been absolutely robbed there. So there's no incentive to look at it and change it. I don't understand why they're doing it. It makes no sense. There's some decisions in football I'm happy for them to look at again if it's a clear and obvious decision. That wasn't one of them. That really wasn't one of them. Ostermorg, big up the Scouse Greek, Simicast to Roma. 3-star Reds, as a Forest fan I can tell you 100% there is no corruption in the Premier League, and any club who dares to challenge it will face heavy sanctions from the Prem. Fulham are in, chance! Hit it! Die! Oh, Robert Sanchez. Very lucky boy. He was just offside. Unlucky. Ryan, they make the ref change his mind. How often do the refs go to monitor and stick to the guns? That's true. Michael, Fulham have been robbed, but I don't actually care who does. Fulham are a creepy team. Jonah Weir, what happened? Fulham scored a perfectly good goal. Pretty much everyone agreed. No one even thought it was a foul. I don't think even Chelsea appealed for it. But all of a sudden, the referee goes and has a look at the monitor and decides that it's an absolutely nothing foul and rules a perfectly good goal out. I'm not surprised. He might even go. He'll go to the VAR for this one here now. Berger's just kicked. It was a high challenge, but he's just kicked the ball and he's caught João Pedro in the head, even though João Pedro's ducking down. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he goes and looks at the monitor and tries to send him off for this. This referee has definitely got not anti-Fulham. He's pro-Chelsea. He's pro-Chelsea. MT, I don't like VAR, but I still trust it more than purely a ref. One ref can't see everything, and also the refs are also not that good at their job. That's true. I don't mind VAR. It's fine. It's a good tool. We should have VAR. I just think there needs to be a necessity factor in using it. If a referee gives a decision, let it stand. Not every decision needs to be re-refereed. Chalobah is not good against good teams. Why don't they buy a centre back? They're gonna win the title even with Chalobah at the back, apparently. Tom Calvert, disgraceful decision to rule out that goal, Key, mate. Chalobah is lunging into Muniz. Where is his foot supposed to go? I was gonna say, apparently you can just float in football now, can't you? Just floating, that's fine. Sam, hey Key, how you doing? I'm good, mate. How you doing, Sam? Good to see you. It is absolutely laughable, I have to say. Fulham have been by far the better team here. 35 minutes in, they've forced Robert Sanchez into more than a couple of saves and had a perfectly good goal ruled out. So, good performance from Fulham so far. Not really all that surprising that Chelsea haven't really made a big impression in the opening half. Michael, hi mate, let's patch this game and talk about Swedish women. Liam Manning, for that reason alone, I hope Fulham win now. Sam, good, I'm heading to France. Nice, enjoy France. Lovely part of the world. Well, some parts of it anyway. I went to a place called Evian a couple of years ago. It was absolutely beautiful. Where the water's from. Yeah, very nice. Lovely place. Crew 0, Swindon 2, the Robins double the lead at Gresty Road. Ryan, do you think Trent plays against Liverpool and what reception do you expect him to get? I don't think he plays, no. I'd be amazed if he did. Real Madrid Xabi Alonso seems to prefer Dani Carvajal now that Dani Carvajal is back fit. Trent's been, moved to the bench, so it wouldn't be surprising if Trent wasn't playing at Anfield. Because that would make the occasion more about him than anything else. I don't imagine he does. I think he may come off the bench, though. I'd be intrigued to see whether or not he comes off the bench. And either way, he would get a horrendous reception. Of course, he'd get booed on and booed at every touch. B. McCarran, don't see Rodgers going anywhere. I think it would be the end of Villa's season, wouldn't it, really, if he did? Harry, what's your least favourite Prem team, excluding club rivals, Key? My least favourite Prem team? Well, if we're talking, who would you consider Liverpool's rivals to be? So I honestly haven't got a least favourite club. Let me just put that in context. I actually quite like all Premier League clubs. I haven't got an issue with any club, really, apart from Everton and United, for obvious reasons. They are our big rivals. But in terms of teams, like, You've got to differentiate between club and team. Like, I don't like Everton. Well, no, actually, let me rephrase that. Everton as a club and a team, it's just because of the rivalry. I actually don't mind Everton as a team. Or as a club, actually. Everton do a lot of good for the community, and David Moyes, they're actually quite likeable in many ways. But there are rivals, so you've got to detest them. It's just how it is. But I don't really like... I don't know, actually. I can't really say. I'm thinking here, like obviously we've got the historic rivalries with Chelsea and City and Arsenal, and yeah, I don't really like any of them, but I don't hate them. Joey, we've got Real Madrid and City back-to-back again, might cry. We'll smash them, mate. Fulham are in again. Oh, I tell you what, they're playing some good football here, Fulham. They've got Chelsea on strings. Doncaster goal, says Liam Manning. Matthew Wakefield, loving the retro Betis top. Cheers, Matthew. Ostermorg, aren't the dates of the Champions League phase out today? They are, yes. Yeah, saw them before. Do you know what's interesting as well? We've actually got Kairat Almaty. We're going to get Champions League games at, I believe, 3:30 p.m. Do you know that? Next season, there's going to be Champions League games that kick... Well, this season, there's going to be Champions League games that kick off at 3:30. Because they're in Kazakhstan, Kairat kick off 7:30 p.m. local time. They're 4 hours ahead of us. So it'll be a 3:30 p.m. kick-off in the UK. I don't know if anyone's got Kairat away, any English teams, but you'll be able to watch Champions League football at 3:30 p.m. on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. B. McCarran wouldn't say the end of the season for us, in my opinion. Rodgers was up there with the best players last season for us, but Yuri Tielemans would be the main core in the middle of the park. Definitely a miss. If we lost Rodgers, as he is the best talent by far. Ostermorg, that just feels wrong, doesn't it? It does. That's what I mean. 3:30 and you're watching Champions League football. Laughable. Liam Manning, Liverpool rival for the title is City and Arsenal this year. I reckon Spurs will do well. Harry Maguire. Thoughts on Xavi Simons to Spurs? Jake Pike. Xavi Simons to Spurs, mate. I think Xavi Simons is great. Yeah, Xavi Simons is a wonderful signing. Jake Pike 96. Hey Key, hope you're good, mate. Do you think Amorim is gone if Burnley get a result today? Is he gone? Is he gone if Burnley get a result? No. No, I don't think he is. I think he might want to. He might be tempted to, but I don't think he does. WIT, I captain Dango in FPL. What do you think? What do I think? Dango's not a bad signing. Not a bad captain. I would have gone Chris Wood maybe. Whoa, Creme de la FM. Listen, I won't mute you. But when you start asking people to leave the live and boycott the live, mate, you're being a bellwith. There's a difference between being sound and then starting to be a bit of a tit, right? Don't spam the chat. Don't spam the chat and don't start asking people to boycott the chat. Otherwise, you'll just get legged for this live, mate. You're being the tit, not me. No one's being funny. There's only you being funny here, mate. MT, my team, Brugge will travel there. I want to go, but I can't. Mate, it's near China. It's near China. User 9597, better signing, Eze or Simons? Xavi Simons is a better signing, in my opinion anyway, I think. WIT, what's your thoughts on Brentford? I think you'll stay up quite comfortably. I don't understand why so many people thought Keith Andrews would take you down. I thought Brentford were a shoo-in really to stay up. You've lost some key players, but I think you'll be more than fine. Yeah, you'll be absolutely fine. Cremdale FM, it's banter between rivals. No, listen, it's banter between rivals if you're talking about football. Start being a tit, mate, then it's not really banter, then you're crossing a line. I'm not asked, like, there's no, I would never have made it personal. There's no need to go any further than that, but just don't be a tit. Harry Maguire, can't tell if Cremdale FM is a little kid or a sad old fella. He's a nice fella, mate. He is a nice fella. He's a good guy. I like him a lot. He's a good guy. He's just a little bit aggy today, but he's a good guy. He really is. MT, Real Madrid also need to go play which Inter made fun of. Real Madrid have got to go and play Kairat in Almaty. I didn't see that. Wow. Yeah, it's not a place you want to be going, really. Really not a place you want to go. Okay, Chelsea corner, 5 minutes before half time. Goals from set pieces this season has been Chelsea dominating the Premier League. It'd be absolutely sickening if they pinched it on half time here, and it's just over the bar. Big chance that, tossing Adrabayo with the header. Over the bar. Still Chelsea 0, Fulham 0. I think you've got to give it. Fulham are going to be disappointed that they're going in at half-time here level. Assuming that is what happens. They've been the better team, haven't they? Do you think Chelsea finish above City? No, Chelsea don't finish above City. Honestly, this isn't me trying to wind any up. I've said it all along. I genuinely think Chelsea will do well to finish fourth. I think if they finish fourth, they've had another good season because they've solidified fourth. I think Spurs could really challenge them for fourth. Newcastle, depending on what happens in the last couple of days, they could kick on again. But yeah, there's going to be. It just feels like Chelsea have got so many issues at the back. That's my problem. I think I look at Chelsea defensively and I look at Robert Sanchez and I see a keeper that is. I think there's 10 better keepers in the Premier League than Robert Sanchez. So they're not in the higher percentile for goalkeepers. You look at the defence and maybe Mark Cucurella aside, you've got 2-3 very average defenders there, haven't you? In Chalobah, Champong, Tosin. These aren't even Gusto. Gusto's not a bad player, but they're not defenders that you look at and think, wow, absolutely elite, will help keep Chelsea loads of clean sheets. It isn't going to be that for me. So I look at Robert Sanchez, I look at the defence. They have got real issues there. They concede, like I said, they nearly conceded 3 last week against West Ham. And they've started this game. Look at this. They're at home at Stamford Bridge. They haven't scored a goal at Stamford Bridge against Palace and Fulham so far. And they haven't looked like scoring, if I'm dead honest, in any of them games. They didn't look like scoring against Palace. They haven't looked like scoring here. If anything, Palace and Fulham have been unlucky to not come away with wins. So you just look at it and think, I don't make Chelsea anywhere near title favourites. Nowhere near it. Do you think Fulham goal should have counted? Absolutely, it should have done, yeah. Harry, I'd have Spurs in the top 4 over Chelsea. Me too, yeah, me too. Joe, a fee for Isak has been agreed. Good luck to you. You'll need it. Why? Why do you think we'll need it? Jan Aga Fjörthoff. Understand Isak deal is done. Fee expected to be around. What is it? How much is the fee? 130. There you go. Jake Pike, I can see Mourinho, West Ham, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's the next one that's likely to fall, West Ham to Mourinho. He's already said it, hasn't he? He wants to go to a Premier League club again that isn't in Europe, and West Ham just ticks all the boxes. It's going to be a really good appointment, that, for West Ham, if they can get it done. 8 minutes of added on time here at the end of this first half. MT, I think you want to go to Almaty for the experience, but for a team to manage the impact of flying there. Fulham are in! Oh, and again, honestly, how many times Fulham could be 3 up here. Fulham probably should be at least 1 or 2 up. They've battered Chelsea in the first half here. Joe off his pop to Madrid in 3 years when he hasn't got his own way. I'll take that. If we have to sell Isak in 3 years to Madrid, I'll take it. That's a win for Liverpool. Because if he's signing for Madrid in 3 years' time, that means he's probably won a fair bit with us. And again, the only reason he's leaving Hughes is for trophies, isn't it? Trophies and success. So, yeah, I would strongly suggest if he does move to Real Madrid in 3 years, I'm pretty content with that. Harry Maguire, thoughts on the state of Rangers and Celtic? Rangers and Celtic are not... They're not the teams they once were. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on this weekend in the Old Firm, obviously, whether Russell Martin keeps his job. Rangers have just sold what I would consider to be their best player, or one of their best players, in Igamane. But they have brought in Gassama, and Gassama's Premier League quality, in my opinion. Celtic look lost. Brendan Rodgers doesn't seem to have a lot of answers. Yeah, it's not a brilliant situation there for Celtic and Rangers. Joe, we're going to win the FA Cup and Carabao this season. I think you'll do well in the Cups. I actually agree with you on that one. I think you might do well in the Cups. It wouldn't surprise me if you retained the Carabao. That wouldn't be surprising at all. Termdilla FM, Harry Maguire, who cares? Mate, you're treading a very fine line. You're treading a really... I really like you, mate, but you're treading a really fine line. Why have you woke up and chose violence today? You're a nice lad, you. Woke up and chose violence. Ollie Marley, goal should have stood for Fulham. Agreed. Yeah, absolutely agree. Lol Joey, I think journalists are just jumping the gun on the Isak deal to try and get there first. Probably, yeah. To make it seem like they know what they're talking about. But do you know what? Do you know what's really interesting? Not a single journalist mentioned Voltemada, did they? Not a single one. Every single one of them claims that they've got the inside track, and they've got knowledge and sources and all this stuff. Not a single one of them knew about Voltemada. Fulham! Oh, big old tackle, that one from Caicedo. That's just saved Chelsea. Chelsea should easily be 4 down here. Lou, how was that goal this, lad? I need a shot on target off him for 9 ton. From Josh King. Good lad. Yeah, no, I don't understand how it was disallowed. It was shocking. Clarkey, is it internationals next week? It is, yeah. International break after this weekend. But we're still going to be live every day on this channel. Every single day we're live. We've got loads of football still on next week. Callum, Isak news, check it. I've just seen there's been journals reporting it, but we don't know whether or not that means for sure it's agreed. We've just been talking about whether or not maybe it's journalists just trying to jump on the bandwagon and be first. Do you know what I mean? Oh, that's great play by Fulham. Honestly, that's wonderful play by Kenny Tete. Did really, really well there defensively. That's a foul, ref. Ref, how many times? He's so pro Chelsea, that lad. Harry Maguire, World Cup favourites in your opinion? World Cup favourites? Germany? No, Spain. Spain. I can't look past Spain. Yeah, Spain. Joe, I also think we do better in the Champions League as we've got more depth than last year and a better squad, in my opinion. I think Champions League, you'll probably make the first knockout round. But I can't see it being any more than that, to be honest. For duck's sake, has anyone stepped up for Chelsea in Cole Palmer's absence today? No, they've been dreadful. They've given the ball away at every opportunity. Fulham could be 3 or 4 up. They've had a goal very wrongly disallowed. Most people agree. It was shocking from the referee. And look at that from Chelsea. Look at that. That tells you everything about Chelsea. Right there, what you've just witnessed. The ball fell in the midfield to Enzo Fernandez. And do you know what he did? Launched it about 70 yards towards the Fulham goalkeeper. He was in his own half. Any good midfielder at that point gets the ball down and starts knocking it off to the side. That was shocking from Enzo Fernandez, that. They got no one who's picking the ball up and doing it for him. Nobody who's willing to be brave with it, I guess. And Fulham are first to everything. They don't want it, this Chelsea side. I'm telling you, they don't want it. Clarkey, the only person who tells the truth about transfers is Fabrizio Romano. I don't know about that. Liam Manning, Holland, I reckon will do well. Yeah, the Netherlands have got a decent team, but I think the favourites would have to be a mix between maybe Spain, France, Germany. I want to say England, but I just don't think England do. It's going to be a corner kick to Chelsea here. Shelley says dodgy ref. NT, I think it's just these big stories because these are the ones who get them. That's why they jump. Ostermorg, don't know how people try to argue Enzo is better than McAllister. He's garbage. Do you know what he is, Enzo? He's one of them who pops up with a goal every so often and it's enough to cover up his flaws. Caicedo covers for that lad so much. Caicedo's by far Chelsea's best player. Like, a million times their best player. And he's got Enzo next to him, and on paper it looks good, but quite frequently it's Caicedo carrying him. Harry, I could see every English team making the Champions League knockouts this season. I'd agree with that, yeah. Harry, Enzo isn't better than Finn Azaz. Oh, I tell you what, he was offside there, him. He was offside, him, Tyrick George. Miles off. Luis Hidalgo, Anthony Albetis. Well, Betis have withdrawn the... they've withdrawn the deal, haven't they? Or they've withdrawn the offer from Manchester United. Saying it's too expensive. Chelsea have scored. Absolutely shocking. Oh, I tell you. You couldn't write it. João Pedro with the goal. Bang on half-time. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Honestly, you can't write it. You can't write it. He was offside anyway in that. He wasn't even a corner. It shouldn't have been a corner. It's after the 8 minutes. Everything about that goal tells you just how dodgy this referee's been. It was 8 minutes of extra time. We're in the 10th minute of extra time. That is shocking. That is, honestly, there's nothing about this half that's fair. Nothing about that. I can totally understand why Marco Silva is gutted with that. Joe, can it be overturned? No, it can't be overturned. He was offside. I thought he was offside on the corner. And even if it wasn't offside off the corner, then it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. He's in the 10th minute of injury time. There you go. Joe, sorry about the comments at Voltamada. I can only see him doing well and hopefully I'm right. What do you mean sorry? No, mate, you don't have to, what do you mean sorry? You don't have to apologise. What are you apologising for? Not to apologise for anything, mate. No, you're fine. It's good. I like it. It's all good. I enjoy it. D. Nickel, yes, he's in my FPL. He's in mine as well. Yeah, I've got him in mine. But it's still, it just really, really like, chaps, doesn't it? It just chaps. being a bit aggy. Nah, you're not aggy, mate. Honestly, you're Sam, mate. You're one of my absolute favourites. It's great when you're in. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I like it. I didn't take it as aggy anyway. Hopefully you don't take me as aggy. I don't take it as aggy at all. It's all good. Ostamog, don't know how people... Oh, we've done that one, sorry. Shelley says, Marco going mad. Harry Maguire, love Newcastle fans. Honestly, the sound. I like Newcastle as a club. I like Newcastle fans. No problem with them. And Joel's one of the soundest of the lot. Golden boot incoming for João Pedro. He's certainly started well, hasn't he? Yeah, it's been a good old start to his Chelsea career. Liam Manning, and now it's half time. Utter shit. Shouldn't have had that corner. Shouldn't have had the corner. And it shouldn't have been 10 minutes. And it shouldn't have been ruled out for Fulham. And just everything. Absolutely everything about that game so far tells you why fans are losing their mind with VAR and the referees and everything. That is one of the biggest injustices we've seen for a while, isn't it? It is literally one of the biggest injustices you're ever likely to see in football. Right, let me stop that half time. Let's get it back to 45 minutes. Get it ready for the second half. Okay, Chelsea 1, Fulham 0, half time. I am feeling bloody awful about that. Chelsea aren't what people think they are. I agree. I absolutely agree. Reece Crownshaw says Rob Jones is so full of himself. Ryan, Marco Silva's offered the ref at the car park. Meet me in Tesco's. Meet me at Tesco's car park after the game. Liam Manning says, hope Fulham come out and literally get a point at least from this game. They have to. They have to. Anything other than a point is... it's daylight robbery already. Shelley says that was so blatant. I am not going to say that it's corruption. And I don't think it is corruption, by the way. It isn't corruption. It is just inadequacy from the referees. It strikes me that referees should be former players. I've said this for a while, but I do think that referees should be former players. You should be training former players to become referees and have that as like a finishing school. That when you finish playing football, you're now a referee. That would be infinitely better than having what I would consider to be the milk monitor at school. Because that's what it is, innit? You've got the milk monitor at school, last picked in PE. Just an absolute victim complex in a black and white shirt with a whistle. And he's got a little bit of power. That's what we've got with our referees these days. Milk monitors on power trips. That's what we've got. Milk monitors on power trips. And you want ex-players who've played the game, who've actually got a relative understanding of what opposition players are trying to do when they're trying to con the ref, when they're trying to game the crowd or get around the official or all that stuff that happens. Some just aren't used to it. And also another thing that would be good by having ex-footballers as referees is you would also have them not being overawed by the crowd because they've played in big occasions before. How many times have we seen referees influenced by an Anfield, an Old Trafford, a Stamford Bridge? You know, we saw it. We saw it at St James's Park. No offence, Joe. I thought that referee at St James's Park was shocking. 3-star Reds, Marco and Maranakis. The Olympiacos double act after that half would have been a joy to watch. Shelley, that'd be good. Ex-players as ref. Good idea, that, Key. Should happen. Honestly, I'd absolutely push for it. That'd be brilliant. Harry Maguire, former players would have bias, though. What? Well, not necessarily. Again, it's the same as saying referees have bias because they've got their own teams. Former players wouldn't necessarily have bias. Like, okay, let's say for example, who's a player who's recently retired from the Premier League? Who could we use as an example? Come on. What if we had someone like refereeing this game, Joe Hart? Joe Hart, right? Or I tell you who would be perfect. Adam Lallana. Adam Lallana's got nothing against Chelsea or Fulham, has he? If Adam Lallana was refereeing this game, would you have a problem? Adam Lallana would know what these players were about, what they were able to do. I think he would have been happy with that Fulham goal, wouldn't he? That pirouette. He'd have been fine with that. Adam Lallana would have given that goal. So that would have been my shout. I would have put an ex-retired Premier League player in, or even Championship players. That's fine too. Get Championship players in. But it doesn't matter. Just ex-players. They've got to play a game of football. Not, like I said, these milk monitors with a whistle and a power trip. That's what we're dealing with here today. It's not corruption. It's victims. Victims. Chimey says, we need AI referees. Oh, God. Joe, I don't think they have Tesco's in Chelsea. Would have to be Waitrose. Oh, God, yeah. United 7, I'm on the train. Creme de FM, Ashley Young, Seamus Coleman. Both of those still playing. Yeah, Ashley Young's at Ipswich and Seamus Coleman's still playing at Everton. He played in midweek against Mansfield. Harry Maguire says AI rest would keep it consistent at least. That's true. Imagine EAFC. EAFC make the referees for the Premier League. Imagine how wrong that one would get. But you could, couldn't you? See, there you go, Shelley. No problem with that. Adam Lallana as referee of this game. And obviously, if it was like Liverpool and Arsenal tomorrow, you wouldn't have someone who's got a Liverpool and Arsenal connection. You would have someone who was maybe a touch less invested in that whole proposition. You'd have someone like I don't know, Joel Ward or Ryan Bertrand. Ryan Bertrand. He's an ex Premier League player who's just retired. You could have Ryan Bertrand. Johnny Evans. James Tompkins. Wayne Hennessy. Although I don't think Wayne Hennessy would like any German players, would he? Or maybe he would like some German players. Daniel Agger. Yeah, Daniel Agger could play. Ashley Young couldn't be a player, mate. Ashley Young's he's still playing. He's still an active player. Joe, that was not a foul on Chalobah. Nostalgia Bunker, it will be a weekend of VAR decisions. I can feel it. Joe, didn't Forest get their own ref or something a few seasons ago? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. I feel like it's time that the PGMOL start to think outside the box a little bit. And yeah, do you know what else it also feels like as well? What another benefit to having ex-players as referees. Do you know what ex-players don't have to worry about? Cash. Creme de la FM, you said not Prem. What do you mean you said not Prem? No, they're still playing though. Ashley Young is still playing. He's still a footballer right now. I said retired. He's not retired. He's still playing. Yeah. Do you know what ex-footballers don't have to worry about? Money. They don't have to worry about money at all. So like, do you know at the minute, one of the big issues with refereeing is you've got the guy, Michael Oliver, and who's all the others who went out there? Simon Hooper and all them. They all went to Qatar, didn't they? They got invited out to Qatar and the Emirates and the Saudi, and they got invited out to the Middle East to go and do like tournaments by the owners of Manchester City, didn't they, at the time? I can't remember where it was, but they got invited out by the owners of Manchester City to go and do refereeing tournaments. Now, if that isn't a conflict of interest, I have no idea what is. If you're getting paid by the owners of a Premier League football club and you're a Premier League referee, you should lose your job. There's no way at all that should be allowed, but it somehow is. If you've got Adam Lallana as a referee and he gets invited out to be a referee in Saudi or the Emirates or wherever it might be, he'll just go, nah, you're all right, I'm fine. I'm a multi-millionaire already, so I don't need the money. Whereas Michael Oliver, if you're offering him 50 grand or 100 grand to go and referee a couple of games in the Middle East, oh, he's taking it. He's taking it, and he's taking it with a big smile on his face, isn't he? And then, when Manchester City have got a 50-50 decision, is he going to be likely to think, oh, okay, well, I want to make sure I get that nice consultancy refereeing job next time in the summer, so maybe I'll give it I'll give it 4 City this time. You're always going to be leaning a little bit more towards City as a result of that, aren't you? I just don't think it should be allowed. It's so wrong. So wrong that the owners of a football club in the Premier League, they have Premier League referees on the payroll. In what world would that be allowed? It's madness. Harry Maguire, Kante, when he retires, since no one could hate him. Yeah, exactly. Swifty, that's the point. No money worries, so why would they want to be refs? Well, they wouldn't. I guess it would be an investment in still being in the game. That's one of the things that ex-players talk about, isn't it? Ex-players talk massively about. Steven Gerrard did a big thing about this. Being out of the game, Swifty, right? Once they have left the game and they're not feeling the buzz of being in the stadium and, you know, feeling the crowd and all that stuff, I think ex-players would love to be referees just for being referees. They'd enjoy the fact that they're referees. They're not doing it for money. It's not their employment. They're doing it because they love it, because they love football. They've invested their entire life in football. I really think that they'd love that. Ex-players would love it and thrive on it. Whereas officials does just feel like they're a little bit too open to corruption. Even if they're not corrupt, they are open to it. Swifty, what's stopping them now then? Well, there isn't anything stopping them now, but there isn't really a huge push from the PGMOL to bring in ex-players as consultants, because their argument is that their own officials are working fine and dandy. Mike, João Pedro has been some signing so far for Chelsea. Well, he's got a couple of goals. Yeah, he's done well. He's done well in the few games. Well, 2 games, really. Harry Maguire, love it. It'd also help having public figures since they're held accountable easier. That's true enough. Everyone knows him. Danger Mouse, how long have you been a Brighton supporter? I'm not, mate, no. Stephen Neville, what do you think of Hull City and what is going on? I don't know an awful lot about what's going on with Hull City. Inform me, enlighten me. What about Hull City are we talking about? Swifty, I think if ex-players wanted to do it, all the ex-player pundits would be pushing the idea. Possibly. And maybe you're right. Maybe there isn't a big push from former players to want to do it. But I think they would. I think they absolutely would want to do it. If there was a push from the PGMOL to get them involved. If you made a call out and said, we want referees, and you asked ex-players to be involved in that, I think they'd love it. I think they would. But hey, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But from a fan's perspective, I think that would be far, far better. I would be far more comfortable having a referee in the middle of the park making the decision who has got a career of football behind them and isn't just someone who needs the cash, 1. 2, hasn't played a game of football in their life and might be persuaded by a bit of cash in future if the right offer lands on their table. Swifty says lower league players I think are more likely. That's true enough. I am Crew. Seeing as we might be coming to the end of his presidency, how's the Trump impression going, Kee? I haven't done it in a while for obvious reasons, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll break it out again at some point before the end of the season. Stephen Neville, of getting banned for not playing players on the transfer windows. They can't buy any new players for now. Oh, I haven't seen that. That's news to me. Yeah, I must have missed that. Again, not great. And there's quite a few clubs in the Championship that seem to be suffering in that respect. Obviously, Wednesday not doing so well either. So it's sad. Very sad to see such good clubs being ran that way. Hull's a good club. Wednesday too. Got a lot of time for them. It's a shame. Joe, did you see Villa fans thinking they had Leon striker, but it was actually Villarreal? I hadn't seen that, no. But yeah, Mikatadze to Villarreal's some signing, it really is. Scouse and Proud. Hi guys, good to see you. Danger Mouse, the ref shouldn't be on the pitch. They should be watching the game on the monitor. Use the 4th official. Scouse and Proud, hopefully a win today. Well, we're doing the Everton game today, Scouse and Proud. I'm watching Everton against Wolves live at 3 p.m. So we'll be doing a watch along there. Fulham about to get us underway here for the second half at Stamford Bridge. Cardiff 3, Plymouth 0. Come on, Fulham. Grizzly Mob, I wish they can add the challenge rule to football when coaches have 1 or 2 challenges per game, where they could challenge a referee's decision and can force the referee to go to VAR and explain why on the mic. I think the problem with that, I agree with you. In principle, I like the challenge idea, the same way they have it in cricket. However, I think the difference with that one would be that, or the thing that wouldn't alter that is, I think referees too often in the Premier League, they stick together. If VAR says, I think we've got a problem here, I think there is a mistake, I think you should go and check it, 99 times out of 100, that referee that goes to the monitor goes with his mate, doesn't he? He overturns his own decision and goes with his mate, because then they've agreed on something, they've stuck together and they've agreed with it. And that's re-reffing the game, I think. I don't like that. Chimey, let's get Roy Keane refereeing Arsenal and Liverpool games. Yeah, just disallowing random goals for nothing. Well, yeah, you scored a goal, but you're a striker. That's your job. That's your job. You're a striker. Harry Maguire, favourite sport outside of football, Key? Honestly, I haven't got one. Yeah, I am totally invested in football. Don't watch anything other than football, if I'm dead honest. Bit of rugby league occasionally. I don't mind rugby league, maybe. If you come from St Helens like I do, you know, grew up in a town like St Helens. You know, I've moved away now, but you can't really not be a rugby league fan if you're from St Helens, so I don't mind watching rugby league occasionally. But other than that, I'm not really bothered about any other sports. Scouts and Proud up the toffees. Swifty, I agree with the concept of VAR, but we've reached a point where I'd go back to pre-VAR. VAR. Stephen Neville, what do you think of the new rule that could be coming in? The goalkeeper has 8 seconds to kick the ball. Well, that's already in. Yeah, it's already in now. 8 seconds from them picking the ball up, or it's a corner. Oh, Grizzly, cheers for that. Thank you for the super chat. I need Chelsea to win for my parlay. Love that, Grizzly. Great to have you on, mate, as always. And I really do appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. I bet Keane tackles Salah. Josh, how's it going, Josh? QPR 1, Charlton 1. Harry Maguire, do you think Szoboszlai should play versus Arsenal? Yeah, well, he has to for me. Yeah, I think Szoboszlai is absolutely integral to all the good work that Liverpool do. He's probably our best runner in terms of energy, physicality. He's probably our best runner. So I would quite happily, start Szoboszlai over pretty much any of our midfield. I think he's our most important midfielder. And I love Gravenberch and McAllister, but I think those have to play, and I'd probably put Wirtz on the left and have Gakpo coming off the bench. Swifty, don't you watch the Olympics? I don't know. Honestly, I've never really bothered with the Olympics. Used to like a bit of track and field. Used to like watching a bit of track and field back in the day. That was a great game, wasn't it? Track and Field 2 on the PlayStation. Harry Maguire, I'd say Wirtz on the left too, yeah. I think that could just, if we bring Wirtz into the middle as well, that means we have 4 against Arsenal's 3 in midfield, and I feel like we could just overload them a little bit. Have Salah and Ekatike playing almost as a front 2. We might end up going 4-4-2, and ask Kirkes and Bradley to bomb forward. But then again, he might even do what he did against Newcastle and put Szoboszlai right back again. That wouldn't be terribly surprising. And then he can keep the midfield exactly the same. Swifty, you must be utterly depressed over summer, Key, with no football. Usually, yeah. Yeah, it's awful and there's no footy on. The good news is that next summer we've actually got the World Cup, haven't we? So You know, swings and roundabouts. Oh my God, they're going for handball here again, Chelsea. There's a claim for handball for a penalty. If he gives this as a penalty, this is laughable. 5 minutes into the second half, and there's a claim for a handball. Oh, he's going to give it. I'm telling you, he gives this. He's going to give it. He's going to give it. If ever there was a 50-50 decision here, he's going to give it. This is absolutely disgraceful. Fulham are going to get a penalty given against them here. Laughable. 2 decisions by the referee within 5 minutes of half-time, and he's given Chelsea the 3 points. Disgusting. Absolutely shocking. Here we go. What a surprise. He's going having a look at the monitor. Laughable. Here we go. Penalty to Chelsea. Chelsea win the game and everyone forgets. What an absolutely shocking performance this was. Oh, there you go. Here. Yeah, just check that because that's handball from João Pedro before he even gets to him. Let's have that checked because that's handball. That should be handball. If he gives this penalty, I can't tell you how angry I am. I'm not even a Fulham fan. I'm a Liverpool fan and I'm absolutely raging at this. I can't believe he's not giving it. Sorry, I can't believe he's not overruled this. VAR sending him to the monitor. First off, check the João Pedro handball before it. Because João Pedro handballs it. If you give this penalty, mate, you're absolutely shocking. Killing the game, says Ian Woodward. I agree, mate. Absolutely agree. That is disgusting. Feel like turning the game off. It's so bad, isn't it? It's so bad. It's this stuff that just makes you hate football. Oh, does anyone else feel that strongly about it? It's so bad. And this is why we've got to campaign for ex-players. Because there's no ex-player gives that. You can't jump for the ball without putting your arms somewhere. And his arms haven't blocked a goal-bound shot or whatever. Here, watch this with João Pedro here. Watch this. There's a foul there. And then here, watch this. João Pedro handball. João Pedro handball. In the build-up to it, it hits João Pedro's hand. If he gives this penalty, it is shocking. It's absolutely shocking. He's going to give it, isn't he? Penalty to Chelsea. Shocking. What a surprise. Marco Silva's laughing his head off. What a surprise. Stop moaning, bro. It's a penalty. Gav, come on, mate. Come on. You don't believe that. You don't believe it. You don't believe that, Gav. Come on, mate. You don't believe it. That's never a penalty. There's a hand from João Pedro first. João Pedro handballs it first. And then, you're never having a penalty. It's so bad. It's so bad. This is insane. It's absolutely laughable, this. Grizzly Mob, honestly, it's not a handball on Chelsea. He's closer to his body. My point is, if you're giving that handball, you've got to give the first one in the build-up because he's undoubtedly gained an advantage by using his hand. Isn't that exactly what we talk about with the handball? Gaining an advantage, whether it's intentional or not, whether it's close to your body or not. It's honestly, Enzo Fernandez, goal, 2-0 Chelsea, shocking. Never been more disgusted with a refereeing performance. And I'm not even a Fulham fan. That is shocking. Absolutely shocking. B. McCarran, Premier League, corrupt as F. Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to come round to that idea. Disgusting. I can't tell you how angry that is. How angry I am at that. William, why is Marco Silva laughing? Is he sarcastically laughing? Yes, mate, he is. It's all you can do when you're faced with a referee that's this incompetent, really. I don't think it is corruption. I genuinely believe it is incompetence. It's so bad from him. Reese hits Pedro's hand, no handball. Hits Fulham player's elbow, handball. There you go. Yeah. And João Pedro undoubtedly gains an advantage from the fact, or Chelsea gained an advantage from the fact that João Pedro handballs it, right? So, João Pedro gains an advantage from the fact the ball hits his hand. Creme de la FM, how close was João Pedro to the kick? It's a rule. No. See, mate, you don't understand the rules. You're asking me, do I know the rules? You don't know the rules. It doesn't matter how close the ball is to when it hits his hand or how close. If you gain it, even if someone belts it at your hand from this close away and your team gains an advantage from it, it's handball. That's why, how many times have you seen a player running through on goal and they have a shot and it hits the keeper and immediately bounces out, hits them on the hand, and then they go through and tap it in? It's handball, because even though it was unintentional, even though it was millimetres away, they have used their hand to gain an advantage. Therefore, Chelsea shouldn't be getting that decision. Even if you think that's a handball from Sessegnon, which it isn't, by the way, but even if we think it is handball, Chelsea have gained an advantage beforehand by using their hand. So there's two reasons why that shouldn't be a handball. It's shocking on so many different levels. Joe, sad to see Fulham out the game now. Ryan, commentator, talking about it's not your day, it's just cost them 3 points. Honestly, Fulham have been miles the better team. Gav says, okay, now we have scored it, bro. It wasn't actually a pen, to be honest. There you go. Chelsea fans know it. Even Chelsea fans know it. I'm glad you can acknowledge it. There's no way at all. If I'm a Chelsea fan and I'm watching this, I'm saying we don't deserve a jot from this game. We deserve absolutely nothing from this game. We've scored 2 and we've been really, really lucky. Because Fulham's goal should have stood. We should be 1-0 down. Honestly, it's disgusting. Kobe Mainu and Andre Onana both on the bench again for Manchester United today. Ryan says at least Fulham can look forward to a heartfelt written apology from the FA. I don't even think they'll get one. Asdren, I really think Chelsea will struggle v Barca and Bayern. Mate, they struggled against Palace. They've struggled against Palace and Fulham. If not, they're not going to have this referee every week. Chelsea have struggled against teams that title-winning teams would put away quite easily. But Chelsea have struggled against both Palace and Fulham this season. And against West Ham, if we're being dead honest. The 5-1 they did against West Ham, they were 2-1 down in that one. Gav, I've just woken up, bro. Can you tell me about the Delap? Did his injury look bad, mate? He was running through, mate. He was running through, well, not on goal, but it was like a ball over the top. He's running towards the corner flag, chasing the ball down, and you just saw him grab the back of his calf. It just went, like, you can just feel it's just gone. Now, depending on what kind of if it's a tear or whatever, he might be looking at a few weeks. And that might just be perfect timing, given the international breaks coming up. So he might not actually miss that many games, depending on how bad it is. We don't know yet, obviously, but he might only miss 3 or 4 weeks, and given it's the international break, that might only mean 1 or 2 games he's missing for. So should be all right, actually, Gav. I think he'll be back. And who scored the first? The first was who was the first for Chelsea? João Pedro. Yeah, João Pedro got the first off a corner, and then the second was obviously Enzo from the penalty. Jilark89 says, takes away from what has been a decent game. All talk after is going to be about the ref. It is, isn't it? Yeah, all talk about the referee and what a bloody shocking referee. It's so bad. So bad. Chelsea are in again here. This should be 3. Good kick. Good save from Leno. Really good save from the keeper. Is that João Pedro? He's got to do better there. Say some talk of him being world class. He's just been one-on-one with Leno there. Good player, João Pedro, but I think he's got to do better. Key says, as a Chelsea fan, I think we've been very fortunate today. Couldn't agree more, mate. And that's an entirely reasonable approach to it. To say, as a Chelsea fan, nothing wrong with it. I'm delighted with the fact that we're 2-0 up. It's a great result. If we get 2-0 when playing this badly, we've been lucky. Fulham have been the better side, and we've had 2 incredibly fortunate decisions, if not 3, but certainly 2, that have put the game in our favour. There's nothing wrong with that. That's exactly what you'd expect Chelsea fans to be saying. But unfortunately, not everyone's approaching that. Shelley, any Toffee team news, Key? Yes, I can tell you the Everton team news now. So, Everton team news is as follows. Wolves v Everton. Wolves have got Sarr in goal. They've got Bueno, Agbadou and Totti at the back. Chachua, the new signing, Jackson Chachua, starts at right back. Bueno at left back. In midfield, it's Andre and Joe Gomez. And then a front 3 of John Arias on the left, Munetzi on the right, and Hwang Hee-chan starting up front. That's not a bad centre forward pairing. It's not a bad front 3 for Wolves. That John Arias, I think, is a player who might surprise a few for Wolves this season. For Everton, it is Pickford in goal, Mikalenko, Keane, Tarkovsky and O'Brien. Then it's Gay and Garner in midfield with Grealish, Dewsbury Hall and Illiman and Dye. And up front, Beto. Again, an odd choice that from Everton, to leave Tyler Diblin out, to leave Tierno Barry out. Carlos Alcaraz, who scores in midweek. I think Irabunum's been quite good recently for Everton. Surprising. Even Dwight McNeil. I'm surprised how little Dwight McNeil's been playing at the start of this season. I always thought he was Everton's best player, to be honest. Joe says Mount starting instead of Sesko shows that he's not all that. Mount starting instead of Sesko, I think, is a necessity thing. They have to keep Mount in there because it's not Mount over Sesko. I know it might look like that. I think it's Mount to kind of compact that midfield and give him an extra body in there. Sesko isn't going to start over Cunha or Mbeumo. They are the front 2. United are almost playing with a 4-4-2. Or rather a 5-3-2, sorry. Let me rephrase that. 5-3-2. Shelley thought Barry might start. Yeah, me too. Chelsea pushing forward here. Strike on goal, straight into Leno. Half an hour left in this one. If there's any justice, Fulham bring this one back. But I can't see it with this ref, sadly. Swifty, I think they do it deliberately to create drama. Reese, you know Michael Owen and Howard Webb will get on their little ref watch show and justify it. Harry Maguire says no Strand Larsen for Wolves. And well, Strand Larsen's certainly Newcastle bound, isn't he? Be surprised if it's anything other than that. Jack, Sunderland winning, better squad. Key, are you going to be watching any of the international football, mate? I am, yeah. I'm live over the international break pretty much every day as normal. So nothing changes. Just because there's no Premier League footy on, we'll be still live every single day on this channel. Swifty, wonderful left foot, but not sure what McNeil is. He was Everton's most creative player last year, and I think he's a player that, personally, I would rather have McNeil than Dewsbury Hall in there. I can understand Grealish, but I think McNeil, Grealish, and Diblin would be McNeil, Grealish, and Ndiaye would be the front three for me that they should be having behind Tierno Barry, considering they've invested in him. Gav, Liverpool have got 2 days to sign Isak. How are you going to get it done, bro? Yes, mate, it's done. It's done. Of course, it's absolutely done. Liverpool will get Isak. Liverpool will get Gay. Those two are boxed. Shelley, McMessy, as I call him. I actually quite like Dwight McNeil. I think he's not a bad player. Ethan, thoughts on the Chelsea pen? Bonkers how that's given after the João Pedro handball. Incompetent refs. I'm glad you're saying it too, Ethan. We've all been saying it here on this channel. We've all been saying that it's really frustrating. And, yeah, gutting from a Fulham fan's point of view if you're a Fulham fan. You don't want to see that stuff. Harry, the lineup United put out against Grimsby was honestly the best they had this season. Talk to Frank. How can you blame the ref? He gave everything Fulham's way and the VAR changed it. Well, he's still the ultimate decision maker on the pitch, mate, and he has given those decisions. Just because VAR don't change decisions, VAR give him the opportunity to change decisions, and that's what he's done. Even Joe Cole said the refs have been shocking. The media finally not being biased towards the supported. Key, Jack Grealish was outstanding against Brighton. He was, yeah. He was outstanding. But I still think they're missing a trick, Everton, with... I just think Dwight McNeil's better than Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall's not been a good signing for him. I don't think he will be. Gav's highlights. Do you think Isak will end up costing you 150 or his price has been reduced because of his behaviour? I think his price has been reduced not just because of his behaviour. I think it's been because of a few different factors. The fact that he only wants Liverpool, the fact that there's only Liverpool at the table, the fact that there's only us putting an offer down, and the fact that Newcastle have now signed multiple players in his position. So yeah, I do. I think we get it done. It's probably closer to maybe 125, 130, something like that. If we sign Isak today, do you think he plays tomorrow? No, he can't do. If we sign Isak today, he can't play tomorrow. You have to have like 24 to 48 hours of international clearance before a player can actually play. So no, he wouldn't play tomorrow. Swifty, surely outgoings at Liverpool then? Well, we've already got a load of outgoings, but I expect... we might have a couple more. Maybe Harvey Elliott could go before the end of the window. Wouldn't be terribly surprising. But yeah, no. I mean, look, if Isak comes in and Gay comes in, we've actually not... We've got the same squad size that we had last year. So I don't think maybe there is a need for too many outgoings. But we might lose one or two. Grizzly Mob, do you think Bournemouth are going to be better than their last season? No. I watched Bournemouth in midweek against Brentford, and I've watched them. They were good against Liverpool, but against Brentford in the Cup, really, really poor. And I mean really poor. And they've lost so many players from last season that was, the best things about Bournemouth. Hyson's gone, Kirkez has gone, Zabani's gone, Kepa's gone. They've replaced a lot of players in attack as well. It just feels like, obviously Dango Ouattara's gone. Just feels like they've got too much change at Bournemouth, and it's going to mean they have to adapt. So it might take a little bit of time for them to get back to the levels that they were at last season, and as a result I expect they probably finish mid-table. There was a spell last season where Bournemouth were nearly Champions League level. They were competing at the Champions League level, weren't they? Danny Woolger, what's the lineup like for Man United? The lineup for Man United is as follows. Go on, we'll do the lineups for the teams. Why not? Man United Burnley is Bayindir in goal, Yoro, Delict, Shaw at the back, Diallo on the right, Delo on the left. No Dorgu. Interesting. Casemiro, Fernandez, Mount midfield, and Bermo and Cunha up front. For Burnley, it's Dubravka in goal, Hartman, Esteve, Ekdal and Walker. Then it's Cullen, Ugachukwu in midfield with Mabry, Anthony and Brun-Larsen behind Lyle Foster. Dorgu's on the bench, Maguire, Mainu, Mazraoui, Onana, Sesko, Agate and Xerxes. Grizzly Mob, I predict they will beat Spurs today. Interesting. I've gone for Spurs to win that one quite comfortably. So, hey, we'll see, mate. We'll see. Gavs highlights quite a lot of big deals still have to be done, don't there? Isak, Donnarumma, Rodrigo. Well, Donnarumma apparently going to Galatasaray today. There's rumours about that. Talk to Frank. If the referee wants to keep his job, he listens to VAR, horrible as it is. But then that's the referee in the control room, hundreds of miles away, making the decision, not the referee on the field. And nobody actually wants that. And that's also not the PGMOL directive, is it? You know, the referee on the field is the one that makes the decisions. So if he gets a decision to make and he goes and looks at the monitor, otherwise then what's the point? There should be no, the monitor is purely performative, isn't it, if that's what you're saying? You're saying that it's there as kabuki theatre. It's literally just to show that, oh, we're going having a look at it, but actually the decision's already been made. That should not be the case. And any referee worth his salt, if you've looked at it and gone, actually, I don't think that is, no. Like, I appreciate you sending me to the monitor, mate. Thanks for letting me go and have a look at it. But no, I'm going to stick with my original decision. I think fans would appreciate that far more. Swifty, Bournemouth stripped more this summer than Bonnie Blue. G. Lawrence, VAR has ruined our game. The game is gone. This game has been absolutely ruined. Yeah, it's been so bad. I can't tell you how gutting it is to watch this from if you're a Fulham fan. I can't imagine how it must feel looking at it and thinking how well this team have played, and you've just been done by two completely shocking decisions that are totally unjust. Two decisions ruined the game. Nothing else to be said. Shocking. Yeah. Swifty, I'm not even watching it now. It's on in the background. Lol, Joey, was it a pen or nah? I had to go out. No, it wasn't a pen. It was never a pen. Wait till you see it back tonight. Have a look on Match of the Day. Never a penalty. Is still Man United Burnley prediction. I have gone for Burnley 1-1. Wouldn't surprise me if it's Burnley or draw. Steve O'Gappa, it's not VAR that's ruined it, it's the officials who can't use it and love the spotlight. G. Lawrence, whiskey and Coke Key. I mean, I might put some whiskey. I might have to put some in there at this point, but no. No, it's just a little Pepsi Max. Harry Maguire says the pen United got v Fulham last week was a disgrace too. Yeah, because that was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, wasn't it? They were both dragging each other down. 3-star Reds, when do the international matches start? If the deadline is on Monday, surely that's not ideal for clubs to get deals done if players have left to join up with their squads. So it's Monday at 7 PM is the final kind of deadline for transfers. Players then will fly off around the world to go and meet up with their international teams. But I would be amazed if... I mean, international teams will allow a little bit of latitude for that. You know, they'll say, make sure you're with us on, say, Wednesday for games on Thursday. We'll train together on Wednesday afternoon. Make sure you're here on Wednesday morning. So if the window ends on Monday, they've kind of got Tuesday to get out there, get the bits together. Because most of the games start on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday next week. Joe, I thought it was 11 PM deadline. No, 7 PM apparently. Again, I could be wrong on that, but when I typed it into Google the other day, I said, when does the transfer window end? It said 7 PM Monday. Vladkers, imagine this. Liverpool beat United in the last game of the season, securing number 21 and relegating United. In the last game of the season. We're not playing them last game of the season. Is Dill, as a United fan, I say to draw or Burnley win. Christ, you've not got a lot of confidence in your own team there, have you, mate? Ian Woodward, if Chelsea get this ref every week, they win the league. Yeah, I agree. Even if they just get this ref every other week. Chelsea are a good side. They'll pick up a lot of points without refereeing decisions. No one's saying they're a bad side. But they have categorically got away with one today. 2 horrific decisions that have totally swung the game. Because we're not talking about... Fulham should be in front. Fulham were 1-0 up. It was done. I don't understand it. It's a really poor refereeing performance, and it's changed everything. Reese, I've turned the F1 on. I'm not watching Corruption FC. G. Lawrence, remember Eze's disallowed goal at Stamford Bridge as well? Yeah. JEFC, Everton. We're watching that, mate, in about half an hour's time. I'm going to be live for Everton against Wolves at Molineux. So we'll see how that one goes. If you want to watch along with me, make sure you followed. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube as well. George says Grimsby. Love it, George. Nick46, Mr. Key, how are we doing predictions for Girona v Sevilla and Real Oviedo v Real Sociedad? I haven't done any of them, mate. Yeah, no predictions for those. I see you have some nice kits in the background. How many teams do you have? Lots. Lots. I have well over 100 kits. Yeah. From all over the place. I've got I see you've got a Sweden flag in your oh, you're a Hammarby fan. Oh, well, you won't like me. I got a Malmo kit when I went over to Copenhagen. And I got the train over from Copenhagen to Malmo. I got a Malmo kit and a Copenhagen kit. So I've got those. Joe, one of the strongest Premier Leagues in years, barring Burnley. Hey, Burnley could still, cause a shock this afternoon. Don't rule Burnley out just yet. Shelley, they played bad today. Fulham could have won this, but ref decision changed momentum. QPR have gone 2-1 up against Charlton. Saito with a goal. Stoke still losing against West Brom as well. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Joe, have you ever been to Stamford Bridge? No, I haven't. I've been past it a few times, but never actually been in it. Swifty says, I'm watching United, I can't help it. Glutton for punishment, Swifty. I don't think I've got the heart to watch United. Even I, as a Liverpool fan, feel like that won't be that'll be hard to watch. 3-star Reds. That makes sense. Gav's highlights. Prefer those 11 PM deadline day cut-offs, though. Swifty said the bald ref was the best I've seen. They were all the best ones were bald. Uriah Rennie. Graham Paul. Nah, Graham Paul wasn't bald, was he? Howard Webb I'm thinking of. Reese, this refereeing performance shows why you hardly ever see English refs in international competitions. Very true. Also, international competitions, bizarrely, I didn't realise this, but international competitions have a very, very young cut-off for referees. Did you know that? I think it's 45. I think for a World Cup, they only have referees 45 and under, or it might be... It basically you can't be. It might even be 40 and under. I can't remember it. You've got to be under a certain age to be a referee and official at a World Cup, because there's a former Premier League referee who lives local to us here, and my dad used to go for a drink with him, and he said, like, we used to say to him, "You're doing the World Cup this year, or you're doing the Euros or whatever," and he said, "Oh no, I can't. I'm too old. They don't accept." They don't accept even applications from people like me, even though I'm a Premier League ref and I've been reffing in the Premier League for ages. Can't do it. Oh, you're on about Kalina. Oh, yeah, Kalina was fantastic. Baz says Wolves are getting it. Oh, Baz. No, Everton. I can't see it. I think Everton are gonna fluff it. Come on, Wolves. Come on, Wolves. I can't watch another Everton win. Christ, I watched Everton get the win against Brighton last week. That was hard enough. Can't keep watching Everton win. It's disgusting. It's ruining my weekend. Bars with No Strand Larsen. Yeah, well, hey, listen, No Strand Larsen, fair enough, but their attack's no worse than yours is. I can't see... I look at Everton's attack and I don't see goals with Beto and Kieran Dewsbury Hall and Grealish. I don't see it. There's not a lot of goals in that attack. Same as there's not really... I mean, Wolves scored more than Everton did last year. Wolves had a far better attack than Everton. Admittedly, they've lost Cunha and Strand Larsen since, but I still think they're going to be all right. Shelley saying Fulham fans singing "You're not fit to referee," and they're right, aren't they? They're right. You can't say it's wrong. Come on the toffees, says Shelley. Arab Joe, do you think Tottenham wins this? Yes. Yeah, Tottenham win against Bournemouth, I think. Although Grizzly in our chat has already been saying he doesn't think so. He thinks that it's going to be a Bournemouth win. He's backed Bournemouth to win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Joe, what about Ndai, who's better than Messi? Illiman Ndai. He's shocking. Bar's Beto at the moment, to be fair, and Ndai Grealish can be argued. Beto and KDH aren't great up front. And Ndai and Grealish aren't going to contribute a lot of goals. Not enough, anyway. Christ, what's Adama Traore got in his ear? Is he allowed to put that stuff in? I mean, I suppose he is, but... Adama Traore looks like Bob Marley. It looked more like... The only people I've seen have, like, stuff at the end of their braids like that is, like... Almost like tribal chiefs and stuff like that. Like, what was his name? The wrestler, like Tatanka in WWE. It's the Spain flag. Oh well, that would make sense. He's Spanish. I didn't even see that. I didn't even see there was colours on it. It just looked like he'd hooked something on the end of his dreads, and I didn't know what it was. Reese, the age limit was removed in 2016, Kate. Any ref 45 or older has to go and undergo additional assessments. Oh well, there you go. That might make sense then. That was a while ago. The referee was Chris Foy, so that might explain it, because I think he finished reffing in the Prem in about 2012, maybe even later than that, maybe 2013, 14. He was reffing for a good while, though. Harry Maguire, signing of the season prediction. Signing of the season, I think, is... I think it might actually be... Do you know what I'm going to give it to? I'm going to give it to Granit Xhaka, which I know is an odd choice, but I do think that Sunderland stay up, and if Sunderland stay up, it's a big part down to him. So I'd give it to Granit Xhaka. I think if they do stay up, it's because of his influence, and I expect they will, just about. I mean, you could give it to the title winners, I guess. You can give the signing of the season usually goes to a team that have overperformed. You know what I mean? So if Isak comes in and Liverpool win the league, is Isak the signing of the season? Could Wirtz be? Could, someone like that? Maybe. I think if City win it, you'd have to look at someone like Reinders maybe, and the big part that he's played. Likewise, if Arsenal do it, you'd probably talk about Zubimendi. But no, I think I'd probably be inclined to give it to someone. The shocks aren't going to come in the top six. I think the top six are pretty much settled. Great ball in. Fulham, unlucky. Just over the bar. I think the surprises are going to come in the relegation places. I don't think the three that came up are the three that go down. So whoever stays up out of those three, I would imagine we're looking at them for signings of the season, and that's why I've gone Granit Xhaka. Swifty, which kid coming through a youth system? Which kid coming through a youth system? That's a good question. Best academy prospects. I mean, do you know what? You'd probably give it to Rio Engamoa already this year. I don't know if any academy prospect tops what he did at St James's Park, then, fair play. That's probably one of the moments of the season already. But there's not going to be too many that come through and play all that often, I would think. Maybe someone like Rigg at Sunderland. Again, he probably doesn't get too many games. Someone like Harrison Armstrong at Everton could get quite a few games. He played all right in midweek against Mansfield, but they're short of a midfield or two. Who else academy-wise could get quite a few games? Josh King for Fulham scored a perfectly good goal here. That'd be a great one for Fulham. Yeah, I'd probably be looking at Josh King. Who else is there maybe that we're talking about? Academy products. There's a part of me that thinks Nico O'Reilly at City, if Aït-Nouri doesn't cover himself in glory in the opening few weeks of the season, they might go back to Nico O'Reilly at left back, and I thought he was tremendous last year. I really rate Nico O'Reilly, so yeah, Nico O'Reilly could be a good shout for City. There's a few for Arsenal, isn't there? Lewis Skelly maybe, someone like that, but again, he doesn't play enough. Lewis Skelly's a bench player for Arsenal, doesn't play anywhere near enough for him, and he had his breakout year last year, so I wouldn't include him. There's not too many, is there, really? Reece, the fact you've not mentioned Max Darman is diabolical. But he's not going to play that. That's the problem. The problem with Max Darman is I would put him in the same category as Rio. Neither of them are going to play too many games this season. But I don't think Darman will do what Rio Engamoa did against Newcastle, will he? He's just not going to do that. Like, he might have a few good appearances off the bench, but he isn't going to score the winner at St James's Park in the last minute. He's never going to top that. Well, never's harsh, but he's not going to top that as a 16-year-old kid, as Rio Engamoa did. I would be very, very surprised. If he does, then I'll eat my words. Fine. Harry Maguire, Brighton striker. Forget his name. Seamas are we talking about? Seamas is a good shout, but he's not really an academy prospect. Kostulas and Seamas, they've both been signed this summer. Harry Howell, 2 assists this week. Yeah, Miley wouldn't be bad. Joe Key, Darwin is better than Yamal, remember. Ben Hughes still thinks Sheffield United will be in the playoffs come May. Well, they've lost again today, haven't they? Borough getting the win at the Riverside against Sheffield United. That's got to be the end of the road, hasn't it, really, for Sheffield United's manager. He's had a really, really tough start. I mean, it's not actually finished just yet. It's 7 minutes gone of 7 minutes in added time. So there's seconds left at the Riverside. But, Ruben Selles, I just look at him and think he looks lost on the touchline. He's had a really poor start. He will probably leave. QPR have got a third against Charlton at Loftus Road. Stoke losing at home against West Brom. What a start to the season West Brom have had, by the way. Borough and West Brom, the top two teams in the Championship. Could we see them coming back up? Chimey was watching Coutinho highlights before he left Liverpool. He could have been a legend. Coutinho's in my all-time Liverpool 11. Which, again, is a bizarre... What a rat he was. I loved him. I think he's the best. One of the best I've ever seen play for Liverpool. I'd move mountains to put that lad in my number 11. In my all-time 11 for Liverpool. He made football fun to watch, didn't he? He was incredible, Coutinho. Reece, Darman is better than Palmer. Well, Darman has got a lot of ability, that's for sure. But I think he's going to have to... Obviously, he's still developing physically, isn't he? And he looks quite slight. He goes down under the slightest touch, which admittedly might be deliberate rather than anything to do with him physically. But he looks lightweight, doesn't he? He looks really lightweight, as you'd expect for a 16-year-old kid. But it depends how he fills out and bulks out over the next few years. Sometimes he might look like Adama Traore in 2 or 3 years' time. You never know. It was always a pen that against Leeds, Key. Shut up, mate. No, it wasn't. If that was a pen, then Fulham's goal wasn't a goal in this one. It was exactly the same. Absolutely shocking. He was going down before he even touched him. Fulham, chance. Oh, unlucky. Swifty, I remember watching Ian Rush against us in 91. He missed an absolute sitter. That's a collector's item, innit? Ian Rush missing a sitter. An absolute collector's item, that one. Take that. Oh, that's a foul and a red card, ref. Get him off. Christ, that's the referee just showing a little bit of bias there to Chelsea. Oh, yeah, we'll give it a yellow card so it don't look like I'm totally biased against Fulham. Caicedo's gone down. Andre Santos. Shocking tackle, that. Reece, he accidentally moved his foot towards the player and went down. Off the line. Off the line, Chelsea. I tell you what, they've lived dangerously today, these. They've absolutely shat the bed, these Chelsea players, haven't they? Player of the match, João Pedro. Yeah, he's been exceptional. Well done. Player of the match, Rob Jones, referee. Edward Key, when we put in a bid in for Isaac, they have a striker now. I think it'll likely be within the next 24 hours, mate. It'll be after the Newcastle game. They're not gonna announce it before the Newcastle game. They won't want any distractions. Now, Fulham free kick. There's 4 minutes left. I wonder. Miles over. Shocking. Absolutely shocking from Raul Jimenez. Please watch Voltemada goal against Wolfsburg last season. Sensational stuff, Kate. He's a good player. I'm not denying he's a good player. He really is. He's a good player. He is a good player. And I'm not saying anything about that at all. I just think you've overpaid for him. And that's really the bottom line. You've overpaid. You could have got better, I think, for that money. But not bad. Now, 3 minutes left here. Swifty, he's not a traditional 9 though, is he? No, he's not. He's not a traditional 9. He's someone who'll drop deeper and pick the ball up. But he's 6'6". So he's gonna, same as anyone else, he's gonna get judged on goals, but he can knit the play together. He's probably a lot closer to Havertz than like Isak, for example. He's not. I don't think he ever becomes prolific. Put it that way. I'm not sure he's going to be prolific at Newcastle, but I think you might see him get 15 goals a season as part of a functioning Newcastle side. Maybe as a result of him coming in, maybe Elanga and Gordon get more goals, but they've spread the goals about a bit. Do you know what I mean? I think it might actually be better for Newcastle in that sense. Maybe he's not, and he is an Isak replacement, but it's maybe a system change from Eddie Howe in bringing him in. Swifty, I watched him in the under-21s this summer and seen a bit of him. Yeah, and he was a good player. Well, he is a good player. Not denying that. Joe, I think we've overpaid slightly, but just watch Eddie Howe's magic in play. Harry Maguire, if you could bring any previous Liverpool player from the past into the current team, who are you taking? Suarez. No, it has to be Gerrard, doesn't it? It has to be... Suarez and Gerrard are the two, but I don't know who would have. Probably Gerrard. Yeah, Gerrard. It'd have to be Gerrard. Of course it would. But after that, Suarez very close anyway. "90 seconds to go here at Stamford Bridge. And I'll be live in about 20 minutes or so. 15-20 minutes for Everton against Wolves. So if you want to... Well, Wolves against Everton. Again, Molineux. So if you want to join me for that, make sure you give us a like. Make sure you followed. I'll be live in literally 10-15 minutes. We'll be back live again for Wolves against Everton. Liam Manning, Bayindir in goal for United. Swifty Souness in that midfield. I think my dad would say Souness as well. Harry Maguire, bring Matip back, I'd say. Yeah, Matip the big giraffe. Ryan, what do you class Yamal as? He's still technically a wonder kid youngster. He seems too good for that. No, I think he's... I mean, look, you have to say he's a youngster and a wonder kid because of the age. He's unprecedented what he's doing. He'll win multiple Ballon d'Ors. I think Lamine Yamal is the first player that I've honestly seen that could get close to Messi. I don't think he actually does get anywhere. I don't think he's Messi. Don't get me wrong, but I think he could really get close to it. He might be the first we've seen in some time that gets those Ronaldo, Messi levels. He could. He really could. But we'll see. Again, long time to go for him to develop. Okay, right. So, full-time, Chelsea win 2-0 in this one. I will be back in about 10 minutes' time. If you're joining me, please feel free to do so. Give us a like, give us a follow. I will be back in 10 minutes for Wolves against Everton at the 3 o'clock kickoff. Take it easy. Have a nice day.